If the Orioles are unable to obtain Corbin Burnes, is Dylan Cease the answer? I've not always been the biggest Dylan Cease fan. Gets a ton of strikeouts. A lot of people view him as an ace. I've always seen a guy that kind of struggled in big moments, whether that be the playoffs, whether that be good teams and whatnot. So I decided to kind of pull a little bit of his numbers. Now, don't get me wrong. He is a fantastic pitcher. I would take him for the right price. Just be a little cautious with him. The numbers across the board are very good. But against the AL East, completely different story. So Dylan Cease is a guy who sports a 3.75 career ERA. He's allowed 100 home runs, 359 walks, to 1,016 strikeouts. And he's done this in 156 games. Career batters are hitting .222 against him. And he sports a 10.8 strikeout through 9 ratio, with a FIP being at 3.86. Now, like I said, looking at the numbers, Dylan Cease is very good in his career. I think what helps inflate some of this, though, he's got 81 starts against the AL Central. Now, look, prior to 2024, the AL Central wasn't really considered that strong of a division. Now, he's pitched 57 times against the AL Central. Again, to a 3.41 ERA. Very respectable. He's at 121 walks to 352 strikeouts. Batters are at .230 average against him with a 3.66 FIP. Again, with that 10.2 strikeout to 9 ratio. Now, really, for a long time, the only team that really hit all that great in that division was the Twins. I try not to put a lot of stock knowing that for a long time he feasted on bad teams while he was still on a bad Chicago White Sox team. What I want to get into is what scares me with Dylan Cease. We know how good he is, but these are his numbers against the AL East. In his career, he's pitched 24 games to a 4.92 ERA. He's allowed 68 runs with 64 walks in 27 games. Now, granted, he does have 164 strikeouts with a .229 average against him. He is averaging a 30.4% strikeout ratio in those 24 games against the AL East with a 3.87 FIP. You still see the same guy, a high velocity, a high strikeout guy. He struggles to keep the ball in the zone. I mean, when you kind of look at his baseball savant pages, he really struggles to throw the ball in the zone. He's above average, above league average when it comes to throwing the ball in the zone. He's above league average with pitches going out of the zone. You get what you get with Dylan Cease. He's good for the Orioles. I don't want to come out and say that he's not good. The package would have to be right for a one-year rental unless they can convince him to take a deal up front. Now, if they can say, okay, we're going to get rid of one of our topper-end prospects, you have to sign a deal with us. If not, deal's off. That's the only way I'm trading for Dylan Cease. He's got great stuff. I mean, you can see here, when he's really on, the ball is so hard to pick up. Now, if you look here while he's throwing this pitch, he hides it. He almost throws it like a catcher. And it's just a quick snap throw. And between his fastball and a slider, you can't tell the difference. The only bad part is the fastball is dead straight. Look what Baseball Savant says about it. It doesn't move a whole lot, 2 inches. It's below league average in far of movement. So when he misses, like he does right here, the ball gets hit a mile. And that's the problem with Dylan Cease, is sometimes he misses. Now, is he still a good, viable option for the Orioles? Yes. I'm not going to say that he's not. They just have to be careful with what kind of package you would put together for him. And you got to know what you're getting into. He doesn't throw the changeup all that often. He only throws them to lefties, actually. He threw 28 total all year, and only 1 went to a right-hander. Doesn't throw it much. The knuckle curve is considered probably his 3rd best pitch, but his bread and butter is the slider. Fastball, not so much. Not so much. Fastball, he gets ahead in the count when he can locate it. His bread and butter is the slider. He only had 64 strikeouts last year in 2024 with the fastball. The slider, on the other hand, had a 39.1% K ratio. Now, you got to remember, with his funky little delivery here and how he hides the ball to the very last second, and his release points are the exact same between that fastball and that slider, it's very hard to pick up. Even though the slider doesn't move a whole lot, it's a little bit slower, and it still has that tight spin, just like a fastball. His spin rate is very well on it. It's very hard to pick up, and that's why he's successful with it. But when he misses, again, it's bad. So in 2024, righties only hit 155 off of this slider. Lefties, 166. There were 702 swings on his slider. 314 of them were whiffs. So again, it's all about deception with Dylan Cease. When he can hide it well and his arm slots are the exact same, chances are you're going to swing and miss. The chances. The problem with Cease is when he's throwing a fastball and he doesn't locate perfectly, he gets demolished. The Orioles need to kind of know that going in. Fans need to know that going in. Very high strikeout guy. Not going to take that from him. He actually leads, since 2019, he leads the league in walks with 359 among qualified pitchers. He's also sixth most strikeouts. So you got to kind of take what you get there. You got to understand that he's going to put guys on base. He's also a fly ball pitcher. 57% of the balls hit off him are in the air, either a line drive or a fly ball. So you have to be willing to know he's going to walk a guy and or 5 a game, and he's also going to give up some long fly balls and or home runs. If you're okay with this, which we should be, look, Dylan's a good pitcher. He's a good pitcher. I would love to have him as a number 2 personally. I would love to have Burns and him somehow. I don't see how that's possible. I would love it. But for him to carry a staff, that's what makes me nervous. But you guys got to let me know. How do you feel? After seeing some of this stuff on the screen, after seeing some of his replays and of his hits and his strikeouts and stuff, and you kind of get to slow some of this down a little bit, what do you think about him? Let me know.